The next topic and the last one is, you're absolutely right, directly in line with that. And that is, Indonesia is taking de-dollarization very seriously right now. So they've announced that they've formed a national task force to widen use of local currency transactions with partner countries. So here's a quote from Indonesia's central bank. Bank Indonesia is confident that National LCT task force will be an effective coordination forum to strengthen policy synergy between government ministries and agencies in an effort to increase the use of local currencies in bilateral transactions between Indonesia and major trading partners. So that's Governor of Bank of Indonesia said in a press release. So we are watching in real time larger economies actively de-dollarize. And we saw a big push. So you said this, David, I think it's very poignant and very wise, that when the United States sanctioned Russia and pushed this Ukraine conflict, it pushed them over the edge. It pushed the countries over the edge that sanctions have been weaponized against. Because the problem with sanctions is that they tend to create new markets. And that's something very short-sighted by the States in terms of implementing those sanctioned policies. Because that's just the truth. The truth is, look, it's created new markets. And the sanctions tried to cripple Russia, and it didn't.
It backfired.
Not only did it backfire, Russia became friends then with China, with Iran, with all these other countries, instead of it shutting down Russia the way that the United States thought it would.
That's true.
So I think that this is a very interesting next step in the de-dollarization process that's happening.
But also because it precipitated that change. So this is why now, which doesn't get openly reported, I found out. We are asking Russia to go back to SWIFT. You guys know what the SWIFT system is, by which the transactions. So the SWIFT system is by which we have the major say in SWIFT. That's how we are able to sanction countries and so forth. So because Russia, we kind of block them from the SWIFT, so any transactions will not be done through the dollar. And we realized, wait a minute, other countries are dumping the dollar, conducting their bilateral trade in their own currencies. Now we are reaching out to Russia and asking, okay, well, we're still going to have some sanctions, but we like you to go back to SWIFT. Russia said, no, thank you. We're not interested. And this is where that shift is going. This is why when you take a country like Indonesia, and I've been arguing this for quite a while because I was seeing some articles from some entities coming out of Australia, especially the Australian National University. If you only know that university, its funding on the global program, it comes from Washington. So what they were trying to do is certain authors there, they're writing articles to create tensions inside, to foment it by creating doubt inside Indonesians. Like, for example, you say, Indonesia, it's going to be sucked into a conflict between... No. Indonesia can still maintain its neutrality without being sucked into any conflicts. So by the time you write articles like this, you are creating
those tensions.
So because Indonesia is realizing and seeing where the trends are going, unlike Philippines, which, by the way, I just find out some disturbing news about Philippines. They went ahead and cut the cord under the sea between them and regarding China's territory. Yeah, it's bad. I'm yet to dig into this later on. But here's the thing. So for Indonesia, because it expressed the same position of the ASEAN countries, they want to stay neutral. But not all of them are. You got Philippines, which is the weak link, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the same argument I've always made regarding BRICS, with India being the weak link. In ASEAN, Philippines is being the weak link. And this is why those academics or academicians were trying to inject those kind of articles. And I had to call them out on it. Because it was manipulation. Because, by the way, guys, even in academia, there's massive manipulation that goes on.
There
Just
is.
because somebody wrote a white paper, no, there's manipulation. So Indonesia is realizing, well, maybe it's about time for us to, and this is not new, by the way. Indonesia has been working on this for about a year. There's a video out there we did a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Still, I just saw it a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was shocked and surprised. I did it with Ross back then. And we argued that Indonesia is going to dump the US dollar.
Yep. And
Because,
here it is.
yeah, because Indonesia is seeing the trend.
Right.
The other thing that I can think of why could this was a wake-up call for Indonesia, because Indonesia was bypassed by BRICS.
Yeah.
It didn't meet the cut.
Yep.
And makes you wonder what was missing.
That's a great question.
It's just me thinking outside the box. So Indonesia saying to itself, we better not, we better get on this train
Right.
before it leaves the station, because they saw who's now been invited into BRICS. You're looking at
right.
Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
Iran, United Arab Emirates, Eritrea, Egypt, and there's 6 of them. I think I'm missing one. Argentina.
Yeah.
So when you think about this, you think about just the 3 countries, the main ones.
Yeah.
Iran, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. What do they have in common?
Oil.
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 What are the
oil,
transactions?
oil.
And the transactions in oil, what currency are they conducted in?
Well, they used to be the US dollar.
So,
not anymore.
and what did Saudi just did?
Mhm.
They dumped the dollar in the transactions.
Right.
Could it be that Indonesia is seeing this?
And that's the thing, it was coming, right? So
Yeah.
and to be clear, a lot of oil transactions and a lot of transactions are still done in the US
Yeah,
dollar. So I want to make sure that that's clear. It's not like all of a sudden everyone
No,
dumps
no,
the US dollar at once,
no.
okay? This is a process, and it's very important to pay attention to the fact that it is a process, because even here, Indonesia isn't saying we're going to dump all US dollar. In fact, that's not quite the way that they're wording it at all. They're wording it as we're going to use our local currencies. So it's not even about okay, well, let's dump the US dollar. What they're talking about is that they want to create something new.
Well, it's because they have to keep up with the trend that's taking place in the region. Remember, even India just dumped the dollar. So funny. Right after India dumped the dollar, all of a sudden Canada said that India was involved in assassination.
Yeah.
So, and those are just trends that you have to pay attention to.
Right.
Because, like, again, nothing happens in a vacuum when it comes down to geopolitics.
Absolutely. Nothing happens in a vacuum.
No.
And I think you're right. Timing is absolutely everything. And, to the people out there who are saying, oh, well, the world will never de-dollarize. Oh, the dollar is still strong right now. Yes, right now. But things don't happen all at once. Things happen slowly, one step at a time. It's that boiling the frog saying, right? How do you boil a frog? You put it in cold water and then you raise the temperature 1 degree at a time. And so it doesn't know that it's being cooked alive. And so that's what we're watching happen right now, is one step at a time, one little thing at a time.
Yeah. So the dollar aspects of it is the idea of why Indonesia. I forgot what I was going to say. So,
I saw you, David. I saw you.
It came to me. So anyway, so this is basically what Indonesia is thinking ahead of time. Oh yeah, I was going to say, even the US dollar just marked the 10th month in a row with it's very strong. Well, the reason it is strong because other countries cannot dump the dollar because of the interest.
Right.
So
and
that's their problem.
Deal. Yeah.
This is why the dollar stays strong, but it won't be forever.
Right.
So we're seeing the changes coming on.
And unfortunately, in terms of the US dollar, the US economy has a massive debt problem. And on Rumble, I showed the debt clock, but it's a severe problem. And our politicians seem to be acting like it's not a big deal, but it's
because
a big deal.
Because they are becoming millionaires at the expense of.
But it's insane to me, like people who pollute the air, for example, or people who massively pollute. Do they not know that their children also live in this world? Right? It's like you think these little things you can get away with them, but you still have to live in a polluted world. You still have to live in a corrupt world. And I don't know, maybe they live in a completely different situation than we do.
Anyway, so well, we guys, tomorrow we're doing a rumble tomorrow, right?
Rumble. Let me add it to you guys. We have a Rumble that we do live every Wednesday, and we do it because we want to talk a little bit more freely than we can here. We appreciate our YouTube audience. We appreciate YouTube very much. But there's things that we would like to say that we can't say. So that our link is down below, rumble.com/geopolitics and conflict. But check us out on Rumble, Geopolitics and Conflict, every Wednesday. We're able to talk a lot more freely. And honestly, it feels so good.
Indeed. So please don't forget to hit the like button. We truly appreciate it.
And one more thing, David.
Yeah.
We are giving away David's book for free for a very limited time. For the next maybe week, maybe 2 weeks, we're going to be giving away David's book. And it's Geopolitics and Conflict.com/Saud. So if you guys want it, it is absolutely free. We won't spam you. Unsubscribe anytime. And yeah, check it out. We wanted to do it as a gift to you guys. You've been around a long time, and your support means the world to us. So,
and by the way, there is something inside that book that is redacted.
Oh,
so you guys been long enough with us. Once you start reading and you get to that part, you might be able to figure it out. I can't disclose it, but you might be able to figure it out. Anyway, guys, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. As always, prepare yourself for changing world order. Till next time. Bye-bye.